Can you see? Oh God.
Conspiracy theories. Wild rumors. We've all heard of them. In fact, they've become an infamous part of the internet and our daily life in general. But what most people might brush aside or not think about is the fact that conspiracy theories are not exclusive to Western culture. Every different region and culture has its own conspiracy theories. And as someone who was raised in the Middle East, I wanted to share some of the weird and strangely interesting conspiracy theories that I've heard throughout the years. A quick disclaimer: while the term conspiracy theory might not fully apply to all of these, I thought it was the most fitting since it gives off the same feeling. Think of it as Facebook rumors that a middle-aged mom would believe and then warn her kids about. Also note that almost all of these are really old since I remembered them from my childhood, but you might still find some people that would believe them. So relax, grab a snack, and let's get going through our list. The girl who got cursed by God. This rumor originated around 2005 when this picture was spread around along with a spooky story. The story states that an Omani girl was watching some singing show on TV while her mother was next to her reading the Quran out loud. So the girl got annoyed and shouted at her mother something along the lines of, "You're being too noisy with this Quran," and then told her to, quote, "go somewhere else." But her mom didn't, so she grabbed the Quran and threw it. At that moment, the girl fell to the ground and God cursed her to look like this. This whole thing spread like wildfire. It was everywhere. Articles, YouTube videos, and especially Facebook posts. But the main way that was used to spread rumors around back then was group messages, mainly on WhatsApp. But the crazy thing is, this went on for years. The latest video I found about it on YouTube was in 2018 and it has 16 million views, and most of the comments are believing it. As a kid, this scared the shit out of me. It gave me countless of sleepless nights. But it turns out that this was a hoax. Who would have thought? Yeah, it's actually a sculpture by the artist Patricia Piccinini as a part of an exhibition she did in 2003. Her other works look just as uncanny, if not worse, but they genuinely look interesting. I guess that's what inspired someone to create a fake story about it. Also, this same picture was featured in an NPR report for some reason.
Scientists now have created a human-animal hybrid embryo in the hunt for cures. What you're looking at there is one person's belief in what a human-animal hybrid could look like.
The Coca-Cola Controversy. This one appeared around the late 2000s to the early 2010s, and it's quite delusional. Essentially, it states that Coca-Cola and other popular soda brand names have anti-Islamic hidden meanings. The Coca-Cola logo, if mirrored, reveals a text in Arabic that reads, "No Muhammad, no Mecca." The name Pepsi is an acronym to the phrase, "Pay every pence, save Israel." And Fanta stands for "Foolish Arabs never taste alcohol." Their source for all this? Yeah. But regardless, this theory blew up. Everyone was talking about it. Parents warned their children, teachers warned their students. Everyone was mad at Coca-Cola. Of course, people were quick to call out the bullshit, but that wouldn't change others' minds. Also, I want to add this as an honorable mention here because it's very similar to the Coca-Cola thing, but wasn't as popular. A rumor circulated that the Lay's logo had the word Allah in it, And of course, people ate that up like it was an unsupervised pizza box at the party.
هذا الشيء شوفوا لا الله يعني كلمة واضحة شوفوا سبحان الله كلمة واضحة ليش تصنعون هذا الليز الكيس نفسه ليش وين وزارة التربية والتعليم وين الدوريات علموني بس وين الدوريات علموني
Saddam Hussein's image on the moon. A few days after Saddam Hussein got executed, strange messages were going around, stating that if you look at the moon, you will see Saddam Hussein's face. Although most people disregarded those messages, some people were shocked as they looked at the night sky to see Saddam Hussein's smiling face overlaid on the moon. They were so speechless that all they could do was take a picture. That picture was then spread around the internet and caused a lot of uproar on social media, mainly Facebook. Even though a lot of articles were published calling out the bullshittery of that image, a lot of people still swear that they saw Saddam Hussein on the moon, smiling. Looking back now, it definitely seems like it was a small case of mass hysteria. I guess a lot of people really liked him, and the fact that there was a full moon on the 3rd of January did help a little bit. Pokemon is a Jewish conspiracy. Strap on, this one is quite something. After Pokemon first became popular in the Middle East around the start of the year 2000, it quickly became a target for controversy, so much so that it made into the LA Times. Religious leaders across the Arabic world dogpiled on Pokemon with all sorts of unhinged accusations, including accusing the game of, quote, promoting theories of evolution, end quote. You know, because Pikachu can evolve into Raichu. Claiming that the game, quote, encourages gambling. They're talking about the trading cards here. And charging the game as a, quote, part of a Jewish conspiracy aimed at turning children away from Islam, end quote. Yeah. The article on the LA Times is very informative, so I'm gonna use it a lot in this section.
It has been proven that this toy is a part of a Jewish plan to corrupt the minds of our young generation because it alludes to blasphemous thinking. It mocks our God, our moral values, and is therefore extremely dangerous to our youth,
said Sheikh Abdulmunim Abu Zend, a hardliner and a former member of the parliament in Jordan who has helped stir up discontent, although he acknowledges that he is not familiar with the game. About a month ago, the agitation against Pokemon took on a different cast. Parents, teachers, clerics, and others said that a small, unsigned flyer began showing up in schools in Saudi Arabia and other countries, charging that Pokemon denigrated God.
The leaflet, written in poor Arabic, claimed that Pikachu, the most popular and powerful character, meant I am Jewish in Japanese,
said Abdurrahman Mutawwa, editor of a Saudi-based newspaper. By the way, this is the flyer they're talking about. I'm going to skip the whole beginning and just translate the funny part. Pokemon means I'm Jewish. Pikachu means be Jewish. Charmander means God is weak. Magmar means God is stupid. And Growlithe means God is cheap. Yeah, pretty wild. This was so widespread and so believed that it resulted in the Saudi religious authority issuing an outright ban, saying that Pokemon promotes anti-Islamic behavior and is, quote, suspiciously Jewish. And the same ban was revived again with the launch of Pokemon Go. The Praying Mat. This one is a bit silly. So in the late 2000s, this video was spread around claiming that a woman was praying but then stopped and went to watch the TV. When she came back to redo her prayer, she was terrified at the sight of the mat that she was praying on moving on its own to do what seems to be a prayer. Now, if you're a bit familiar with how prayers should be done in Islam, you would know that this looks nothing like praying. In fact, that mat isn't moving at all. It's just there, folded, and there's a crowd of people just filming this. However, all that didn't matter because the video was spread everywhere, and for some reason, people thought it was a good idea to show it to their kids. The audio for this video is obviously designed to instill fear in whoever is watching. And it definitely succeeded in doing so, since most of the comments on the video recall being scared after watching this as a kid. But yeah, the video is an obvious hoax, a poorly made one at that. The Toy Guns Controversy. This one is my favorite. So in the early 2010s, an outrage popped up after a couple of imams around the Middle East got up and warned people about new gun toys that, once pressed, would insult a respected figure in Islam. Problem was, the toy just says an English phrase.
لماذا هذا الاستهداف؟ اضرب السيدة عائشة.
Go, 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 pull over and save the hostages. That's it. That's all it says. Now, in all fairness, if you didn't know English, that phrase coming out of a shitty toy speaker would sound like that insult if you really wanted to hear it. It's like one of those audios that if you focus on hearing something, you could hear it. But still, it's very irresponsible to spew this kind of misinformation onto people without researching or verifying that what you're saying is true, since it could foster unreasonable hate to the West, thinking that they are, quote, enemies of Islam. Various products causing cancer. This one is a bit weird. So in the early 2010s, a weird trend kinda started where every now and then, people would find a new product to be mad about and try to fearmonger everyone away from it, usually by claiming that said product causes cancer. The classic tactic would be to say that the product has a specific ingredient, usually with a long name, which causes cancer. Several products have been attacked with this tactic, but the most famous one would be Indomie, the biggest instant noodles brand in the Middle East. I honestly don't understand this. A lot of these conspiracies seem to be aimed toward large corporations, which is good, but it seems like they're attacking these corporations out of the thought that they're being targeted in some way. It's bizarre. Trading cards and gambling. This one is a bit personal to me. I already mentioned that religious leaders across the Middle East claimed that Pokemon cards encourage gambling, but this didn't stop at Pokemon cards. Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Naruto cards, Dragon Ball cards, basically any type of trading cards got thrown into the mix. When I was in 3rd grade, I loved Naruto a lot, so every day after school, I would go to the shop near school and buy a pack of Naruto trading cards. It was a part of my routine. Now, I didn't know how to play with those cards, I just loved collecting them. And one day at the morning assembly at school, our principal showed us a bunch of different types of trading cards that he confiscated and told us to
Never buy those cards again.
because they are
Haram
and
encourage gambling.
and that if anyone is caught buying them, they would be in real trouble. I was terrified that day. I thought I was going to hell because I bought some Naruto trading cards, so as soon as I got home, I burned my collection. I just sat there, looking at my cards burning. So yeah, screw you, Mr. Principal. Well, that concludes our journey here. Hope you at least found it as interesting as I did. If there are any Arabic conspiracies that I didn't mention, please tell me in the comments. I'll really appreciate it. Sorry if uploads take a while. It's hard to find time to make these videos quickly, but I'll try to make the next upload sooner. Also, I want to shout out the Arabic YouTuber Khalaf Zone. He did a series a long while back focusing on rumors and such, and I got a lot of the information I used here from him. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching the video. I really appreciate it.